Hey, loves, happy Sunday. How are you doing? I know we are in the midst of something we've never seen before, at least something I've never seen before in my lifetime. And many of us that are alive right now may have not seen anything like this before. And I am being called to jump on live today and speak to this in a deeper way than I have before. I know I did a video on this last week, but even in a deeper way that I have before, and really call us in together um, to really go into a deeper level of awareness and healing. So, if we're going to do that in this video, I'm going to share 5 thoughts I've received, and 5 thoughts that will shift our perspective on what's going on in the world with the coronavirus and what this actually means for us individually, for our own lives. I've been asked to speak on this. Usually my usual response to when there's something in the collective that is pretty challenging, or when a lot of people have a lot of fear around something, my usual response is to kind of lay low until that situation kind of blows over. And then I will speak about it or speak to it after it has. But I've been getting some guidance to speak on it now, and to not lay low, and to actually come out more and to speak. And I've been getting that one from a lot of people, from clients, and a lot of you all that follow me have been asking me my thoughts on this situation. And then a lot of my friends, especially my friends who are also spiritual teachers or healers, have been asking me to speak on this. Shout out to Monique if you're watching. This is specifically for you. I had a conversation with her in which she really, really encouraged me to share all the things that I've learned about what's true with energy, what is true for, and good morning, all of you all who are tuning in now. Um, what is true for energy, what is true for our wellness and our well being, what is true when things seem to be challenging or something seems to be coming at us. So I want to speak to that for that. And also, a few nights ago, I had a night that happens, it happens to me probably about 3 times a year. And it's a night where I can't sleep. I'm go to bed at my normal time. I'm trying to rest and I can't sleep. And every time that happens, when I can't sleep, no matter what I do, it's usually the night where spirit is going to speak to me and is going to give me some type of new awareness or new teaching for my life that is going to shift my life, that is going to shift not just my life, but for all the people's lives who I touch, or who I influence in any type of way, or who I engage with or I'm connected to. And this was that type of night. Spirit laid down and downloaded, a lot of information for me around my own life and what's being called for me for my own level, next level of well-being, and what's being called for our levels of well-being collectively. And so I want to share this. So I want to share with you all um, 5 deeper thoughts on the coronavirus and what's really happening from a deeper levels perspective, especially from an energy perspective. If you follow me, my teachings are energy based. I'm teaching you about what's really going on from an energy perspective. So I'm gonna do that. If you see me looking down, to my right, I'm looking at my cards so that I can stay on track and I can remember. I literally had to write these thoughts down so that I can make sure that I get them all out. So before I start, I just want to just want us all to take in a deep breath together. I want us to all take in a deep breath together, because there's a lot of anxiety and worry and fear out there. There's a lot of messages around there with that, and a lot of us are carrying different worries. We're carrying it for ourselves. We're carrying it for our families. We're carrying it for people we know and care about. We're carrying it for the world. So I just want to center us right now, and just together on the count of 3, we're just going to take in a deep breath and then exhale it so that we can center ourselves in this present moment, wherever you're watching this, to do that. So on the count of 3, just take a deep breath in. 1, 2, 3. Breathe in. Hold it. And breathe out. Okay. So one thing I want to kind of anchor in for all of you all is that this is a great time. This is one of the biggest times in our lifetime of you're seeing a worldwide healing happen. This is literally, no matter what it sounds like, no matter what the messages are out there, no matter what's going on in your own body, this is a collective time of healing. It is the great healing. It's more than like the great awakening. It's the great healing that's happening. And remember, we are all connected. We're all one. And this is so. What's happening is the outer representation of this collection, this oneness, and this calls to this great healing. And remember, for healing, in my definition, how I teach it here, is healing is the restoration to the truth and the frequency of your soul. To the truth and the frequency of your soul, and a lifestyle that supports and nourishes that. And this is what's actually happening. More of us are being called to reconnect, to re-embody the truth and the frequency of our soul, which is love. In this particular universe, which is we're here in Earth, our souls have manifested in human bodies to have an experience on Earth. There are two frequencies that are available to you. There are two. This is what and remember, you've heard me talk a lot about duality. This is the dimension of duality, meaning there's an other. There's a bothness almost. When in the other dimension, in the dimension of the soul, in the dimension of source, there's not an other. There's oneness, right? There's just one. This is the dimension of duality, so there's a seemingness of an other. So there are two kind of frequencies that you can choose in any given moment. You can choose the frequency of love, or you can choose the frequency of fear. And what I mean by choosing it is how you feel in your body, right? The frequency of, are you feeling love? Are you feeling fear? And those frequencies create things. They manifest things. The frequency of love manifests well-being. It manifests all things that relate to well-being, meaning good health. It manifests freedom and liberation. It manifests connection. It manifests ease. It manifests joy. Things that are a match to that. So love, when we embody love, we manifest things that are a match to the frequency of love and a reflection to that frequency. When we manifest, when we embody fear, right, and when we're in the frequency of fear, it manifests things that are in alignment and a reflection with fear. So when we're holding a lot of fear in our systems, and again, it's not about holding this like I felt this for a few hours. This is about a habitual holding, and a habitual embodiment. And so when you're embodying fear, you manifest things that are going to be a reflection of fear. And that's when we manifest dysfunctions. That's when we manifest illness. That's when we manifest lack. That's when we manifest struggle and suffering, right? That is all manifestations from some type of fear we're holding within us some type of way. And so I want to lay the foundation before I get into these thoughts with understanding that everything that shows up is a reflection of something that we're holding in us personally, of one of those frequencies we're holding in us personally, and one of those frequencies we're holding collectively. We're holding together because we create reality out of the frequencies that we're holding in our bodies personally, as well as the frequency we're holding collectively. The frequencies we're holding, the energy we're holding together as a global community, right? As humanity. And one of the things we're holding in humanity for too long has been fear. And we've been manifesting a lot of things out of fear. We've been manifesting wars. We've been manifesting illnesses and diseases. We've been manifesting a lot of things. And we're being called to choose more love. And so this is really the first thing I wanted to share with you, is that every challenge that shows up in our lives, every single one, when it shows up, it is showing up to do two things. It has two things to do. And that challenge is showing up, one, to be a reflection, and it's to be a reflection of the energy that we're holding. right? So the energy that we're holding within us. And again, if we're holding the energy and the frequency of love, then it will be a reflection of well-being. But if it's a challenge, then it's not reflecting well-being, right? It's reflecting to us some where we're disconnected from the love that we are some type of way, right? And I'm going to share with that how this is mirroring that disconnection in one of the other things. But it's showing up to show us, it's to be a reflection, right? So this virus is a reflection. It is a reflection of where collectively we are disconnected from the truth and the frequency of love, which is the truth of in the frequency of our soul. So that's the first thing. And the other thing that a challenge shows up for us that shows up in our lives, what is showing up for us to do, is it's showing up as an invitation. It's showing up as an invitation to re-embody love, to re-embody the truth and the frequency of our being. So wherever we're not embodied, to go into a deeper level of embodiment. So again, it shows up as a reflection to show us some type of a way, what beliefs and what energy we're holding that's not in alignment with the truth of our being, and is showing up to invite us to embody more of that truth, to bring it more in our energy field, to bring it more in how we feel and how we move and how we operate through our lives. And as we begin to embody more, we heal and we manifest more well-being in the world and in our lives. So this is a reflection and an invitation. It's nothing more than that, right? This virus is a reflection and it's an invitation. This doesn't mean that, some people aren't going to be negatively affected by it. As with all things that show up, you have a choice. You have a choice. And many of us are not being actually lovingly taught how to make a choice, how to make the choice. But you have a choice in which energy you want to embody. You have a choice in whether you're going to continue to operate by your old beliefs and your old systems and that are disconnecting you from your truth, or if you're going to stop that and you're going to embody the truth. This was exactly the same thing that happened. By the way, I'm teaching what I know. So this was the exact underlying thing behind why kidney failure and AIDS showed up for me. They were a reflection, and you've heard me talk about this. They were a reflection of the beliefs that I was holding and the energy that I was holding in my body that was disconnecting me from the truth and energy of my soul. I had a lot of shame and I had a lot of fear. And that shame and fear was disconnecting me from my energy. And those diseases were outward reflections. They were manifestations of those energy. And they were invitations for me. They were invitations for me to reconnect myself finally. To, instead of having beliefs of shame and fear, to have beliefs of trust in my worthiness, of trust in my safety in the world, of trust in my deservedness and my lovability and my beauty in the world, and also to come back from shame into appreciation for myself and acceptance. And so that was the deeper invitation. And as I began to take that invitation, as I began to embody more of the truth of my being, I began to heal, miraculously so, to the surprise of my doctors, the surprise of my families, all of that. Right. And this is just the same type of thing. We're just having it all together. Instead of this being an individual experience, this is now a collective experience globally, because we are more connected now. We are more connected now than we've ever been in humanity because of the internet. Right. Because of the internet. There are people watching right now from Serbia. I see you all here. There are people that watch me from Australia. There are people that watch me in Asia, in Africa. I have a lot of followers in Africa now. There are people that watch me in Europe, right? Just right here in this one experience, you can see how connected we are. We're way more connected than we used to be. And we're spreading more of, in this connection, we're spreading more of our thoughts and our belief systems. And one of the things that we're spreading that we are spreading more and more and more and more is fear. Our fears and our worries. Yeah, I see some people saying you're in California. I'm in the Midwest. There are people that follow me all over in the United States, right? All over the world. So we are connected. We're more connected now. Like you could be sitting watching me in your pajamas. Right? So there's all this connect. There's way more connection, and with our connection, we have been spreading, the things that are in alignment with our truth and the things that aren't. And there's a lot of the spread of the things that aren't now, and we're manifesting more of that in the world. And our soul is calling us to come back to well-being, to come back to the beliefs, and to come back into the behaviors that manifest well-being in the world, right? So that's really what's going on. That's one. Number one is this is showing up. The coronavirus has showed up. It is no coincidence. There is no coincidences in this particular reality. There's nothing that happens by happenstance. Everything that's happening is happening from, it has a reason. It's either a reason from as a reflection, or it's an intention from the soul to help us heal, to help us come back. And remember, healing is coming back home to the truth of your being, coming back home to the natural frequency of your being. This event is one of those events that is coming out to help you. I'm going to read some of your comments here in just a second after I get past the second one. I'm going to read some of your comments because a lot of you all are resonating and you have questions. So, please put those in the comment section. I'll respond to those. So I see already some of you are saying, yes, I'm in my pajamas. So unfortunately, I couldn't come to you all in my pajamas because my pajamas are super sexy. And that would not have been appropriate for me to do that live in this. But I'm all here for you all be doing your pajamas because I cannot see you. So the first thing is to understand that this is an invitation for us to come back to love. Come back more in alignment with love, to come back more. And you may not be coming back, come all the way completely. You just may be coming back an inch. You may be coming back just a little bit. And just even that inch, just even that little bit, as you come back more in alignment with your truth, even just a little bit, your life will get better for it. And all of our lives will get better for it. Because remember, we're all connected. So as you come back more in alignment with the truth, you will actually cause more well-being in my life. As I come back more in alignment with the truth, I will actually cause more well-being for your life. And as more of us begin to do that, we literally will shift the experience of well-being on the planet. We don't need everybody to do it. Like I said, everybody's not going to do it. There's never going to be an experience where everybody on the planet does the same thing. That sameness. And that's not what's supposed to happen on this experience either. We're not all supposed to be the same. There's going to be difference. So there are going to be some people that get a level of healing now. There are going to be some that get a level later. And everybody's not going to believe the same things at the same time. That's not what this is about. But just for those of us that are ready to come back more into love, for more of us to make the shift. You don't need all to make a quantum shift on the planet. You just need a core few to make it. For there to be a shift. And this is what's being invited for us now, is for those of us that are being called to make the shift, to make it. To make this shift. To make it more back into love. And I'll talk about that, how to do more of that in a second. So number two, the second thought that I want to share with you is that your body is not vulnerable. It is not an unsafe place to be. This is one of the eternal truths of love. This is one of the eternal truths. There are like four basic truths of love that are eternal. And one of the truths is that you are safe in this world, and this world is a safe place for all of your being to be. And you've heard me speak about this in the last few videos. This is kind of what I got in my near-death experience. This is what I've gotten in a lot of my channel work. But one of the deepest truths that we're being called to embody more now, that we've been highly disconnected from. The main message of our, especially in the Western world, the main message of Western medicine, and I am not against Western medicine. My mother is a Western medical doctor. I have been severely helped by Western medicine in my own healing journey. But there are some aspects of Western medicine that are not grounded in truth and that do damage. And one of the things that's happened in Western medicine is a lot of us are being taught to fear our bodies. We're not taught to really feel safe in our bodies and to feel okay in our bodies and to love our bodies, we're taught to look at our bodies with fear, to think they're always under attack, that they're really, really super fragile, to not trust our bodies, and that to not trust that our bodies know what they need to be well, or that they even know how to be well. We're just really taught to believe that our bodies are super vulnerable and that they are super not safe in this world. And this is just not the truth. Your soul would not manifest into an experience where it was not safe, where the truth of it was that it was not going to be okay. The soul would not manifest into an experience like that. It would just not do that, right? And so and your body was created by your soul, and it was created to house your soul. And your soul would only create a house that it would enjoy to be in and that it would feel safe in. But we've just been inundated with these messages that our bodies are not safe, and so we've been manifesting all these experiences that prove that. Because remember, the universe's main job is to manifest your beliefs. And so if you believe you're not safe, you have to manifest an experience that supports that. So you'll manifest. So and one of the biggest things I've done, I've worked with people, I have worked with hundreds of people around the world now. And I can honestly tell you, one of the biggest beliefs that we have, the biggest beliefs we have around this world is, I'm not safe here. I'm not safe because I'm black. I'm not safe because I'm a woman. I'm not safe because in my body, because there's cancer, there's AIDS, there's diabetes. All these things are coming after me. We don't feel safe. And we are so disconnected from the energy of our soul because we don't feel safe. And this is an invitation. It's an invitation. You can choose to take it or not, by the way. With all invitations, it's a choice. You get to choose. So this is an invitation to come back to our truth, that I'm safe in this world. And this was one of the biggest things that I had to get in my body. And that was one of the keys to my healing, because I did not have this. Like, I don't want to sit here and like make you all think that I came into this world and I kept this truth for all of my life. This is why I went through some of the challenges that I had, because one of the biggest things that I had was I did not feel safe in the world. I didn't feel safe as a black person. I didn't feel safe as a same gender loving person. I didn't feel safe in the world with my body. I didn't feel safe to be my truth. I didn't feel like I could be an intuitive in the world and not be rejected and be harmed. I didn't feel I could be, attracted to the same gender and not be harmed. I moved through the world my whole life feeling unsafe. And that fear and that unsafety manifested illnesses in my body. And so that were reflections of how unsafe I felt. So this is one of the things we're being invited and called back to our truth, is to really start to feel safe. To really start to feel safe in this world, and to believe that we're safe in this world. One of the things that I learned in my healing journey was there's really nothing to fear. There's nothing to fear in this life or the next. There is nothing to fear, but we've just we've gotten all these beliefs in our systems. And how this reality works is, once you believe something, again, you manifest evidence of it. So, but the belief comes first. The belief that I'm not safe and that there's something to fear manifests an experience that says, yep, there is something to fear here. And then that re-solidifies the belief, and then that re-manifests something else. So you have this whole cycle going on where there's just fear, 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 fear. And so I don't tell you that the fear is not real, meaning that you're not experiencing it, because you are. There are things that this virus is out here. People are becoming infected with it, and they're having all the manner of experiences with it. I'm not here to say that that's not real and that that's not happening. What I'm here to say is why it's happening. What the actual core of it is the fear. And if you heal that fear, we heal this experience. We will bring it back to well-being, right? And so, but that's really the second thing that I'm seeing a lot of, is we feel so unsafe in this world. And that's not why we're here. We didn't manifest here to feel unsafe. We manifested here to feel safe. And so it's time for us to do some deeper healing work so that we feel more safe. And we feel more safe in this world, and not from a place of fear, like not to do the things from a place of fear, but to do the things from a place of love, and to do whatever you need to do, right? Whatever your perspective, whatever your journey is, to begin to soothe your fear and heal it. And that's really the actually that's a great seg point into number 3. So the third thing to understand and to do in these times is, and this is how you begin to shift out of fear into love, to shift back into your natural frequency, is and I promised I was, as a matter of fact, I just remembered, I promised I was going to read some of your questions here. So I promise I will read them right after I give you this one. So I'll read, because I see a lot of you all here. So I'm going to read some of those right after I give you number 3. So number 3 is to ground yourself in the truth while you are doing what you can to soothe your fear. So how we shift out of fear is, you don't shift out of fear by just saying, I shouldn't be afraid, right? You don't shift out of fear by beating yourself up and saying, I know better. And I know that the spiritual truth is that all is well. But if you don't feel that, you're just beating yourself up, and that's not loving yourself. And that's not how you shift. That's not how things shift. Things don't shift out of punishment. Things don't shift out of shame. They shift with love. So, what you want to do what you need to do to feel safe in these times. Whatever helps you feel more at ease and feel safe. You want to soothe your fear. You want to soothe it. And while you are soothing it, you want to tell yourself the truth and remind yourself of the truth, and begin to operate more from the truth side of things instead of fear. So a prime example I was given from Spirit, and I told you in this earlier the video that I had a night where I stayed up all night and I was getting a lot of messages. So one of the visions that I got around this, and around soothing fear, and around how we really approach the soothing of our fear, is like what happens when you have a child who's having a nightmare, right? So this child is having a dream. It's a nightmare. It's very real to them. They are experiencing this. They're experiencing whatever the nightmare is going on. They're experiencing it in their body. They're experiencing the emotions of it. They're experiencing this nightmare, right? And what you do with the child that's having a nightmare is, you don't go in that room with that child and shame them for having a nightmare. You don't go in there and say, "Oh, you shouldn't be afraid. That's stupid. You know the truth. You shouldn't be afraid." You don't do that. You don't go in and punish the child. You don't go in and tap the child on the butt, or take the child's toys away or something because they're having this nightmare. You don't punish the child because the child is experiencing fear. What you do is you soothe the child. You hold them, right? You bring them into you, and you do what you may sing to them. You may do whatever you need to do, and you tell them, it's okay. You're okay. You soothe them first. And once you let them know that they are okay and that they are safe, and you bring them back into a feeling of being safe and okay, you tell them the truth. You tell them the truth. You tell them, hey, that's not real. You're safe here. You make them look, and you say, hey, look at the truth. You're safe. You tell them the truth. And you just keep soothing them and telling them the truth until the nightmare goes away, until they stop having nightmares. This is exactly the same process. So whatever you need to do to soothe yourself, right? If soothing yourself right now is washing your hands a lot, wash your hands a lot. If soothing yourself right now is coming into some isolation, come into a period of isolation. If soothing yourself right now is getting, enough, vegetables and stuff, and buying more groceries than you normally would, then do that. Whatever you're being guided to help soothe yourself. And one of the things you can do to help find out what you need to do to soothe yourself more is to put your hand on your heart, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and ask your soul, what can I do to feel more at ease and more safe right now? Help me release this fear. Help me soothe this fear. What can I do, and what do I need to do to feel more safe, to feel more at ease? And then trust and listen to that. This is individual, by the way. What you're going to be guided to It's going to be different from what I'm going to be guided to. It's going to be different from what your next door neighbor is going to be guided to, which may be different from what your lover is guided to, right? You have to listen to your own internal guidance in this situation. Your internal guidance knows more than anything else. Like for me, my internal guidance said that, the things that I am being guided to make sure that I can feel as safe as possible, and that I am soothing whatever fears come up in me, is to have a period of isolation, not complete isolation, because I like to go with my friends and everything, but because I, as an empath, I can I can pick up on energy in the environment, and so I can pick up on a lot of the fears in the environment, and before I know it, it can be in my own head. So right now, while there's high fear in the environment, I am being called to just kind of stay to myself more than I usually would, right? To stay to myself a little bit more. That's what's helping me soothe my fear. Also, the second thing my soul told me to do is to make sure that I'm eating well, that I'm eating the things that I know that I feel good about eating, and that things that I know that have supported my immune system in the past. I'm being called to just do that because that helps me feel like I'm supporting my body well, and I'm supporting my energy well. And that was all I was being called to do. My particular guidance wasn't calling me, to buy a lot of the hand sanitizers and things like that. It wasn't calling me to do that. I didn't need to do that to soothe myself. I didn't have a lot of fear in my system, and this is what my system was calling me to do. You may have a little more fear. You may be being called to do whatever. Whatever you are being called to do is okay. This is another part of the truth. There's no one right way. There's only the appropriate way for you. And you have to honor your guidance system for how you were being called to move through this process, through this time. It is not wrong. Whatever your guidance is asking you to do, if it looks different from somebody else's, it's not wrong. It is right for you. So follow that. But while you're also doing that, right? So this was another thing that my guidance was saying. So while I'm eating and while I'm isolating and resting more, I'm reminding myself of the truth. I'm doing things every day to make sure that I remember and that I embody more in my mindset that all is well. That all is well. And that I am safe in this world. That all is well and I am safe. That is the truth of love. And that's what I'm being called to embody more in my beliefs, and look at any place in my belief system that I'm not believing that, and to help myself re-embody that in that space, right? So that's number 3. So I'm gonna read some of you all's questions here while I can. Yeah, so not all are needed to believe the same in order to make a quantum shift. Yes, Zora, that is absolutely true. This is something about shifts and quantum shifts in the world that it's never being asked that all of us believe the same thing and that all of us have the same shift. That's never the case. You just need a few to make a shift that benefits the many. And also, we will never, ever believe the same things. We're not here to do that. We will never ever be doing the same things. We're not here to do that. We're here to have different experiences and to have contrasts. But we are still in that differences and that experiences. We're supposed to have the dominant experience of well-being. This is the dimension of well-being. And a lot of us are not experiencing that because we're disconnected from our truths. So we're being asked to come more in alignment with our truths so we can experience well-being in the different ways we're here to experience it. Yes, Helena says this world is safe for all of your being to exist. That is so beautiful. She's going to sit with that. Yes, that is the truth of your soul, that this world is safe for all of your being to exist. Now, because of different traumas that we have across the world, because of social conditions we have across the world, we get disconnected from that. One of the biggest fears that we have is that it's not safe to be myself, to be the truth of my being. Actually, what it really translates to is I can't live all of my truth and be loved at the same time. That's one of the biggest fears. So what you believe is it's not safe to live some part of my truth in this world. And so I need to change that truth, or I need to suppress it, or I need to hide it. But that we are being called to re-embody that truth, that it is safe for all of your truth to exist in this world, for all of your being to exist in this world. All of your being is safe, including your body. your body. And it is time for us to re-embody more of that so that our bodies can be, we can feel safer and we can have an experience of being safe. Because how this universe works, you have to embody it before you experience it. You have to embody it before you experience it. So if you experience it, you're embodying it some type of way, right? So if I don't feel safe, if I have an experience of being attacked, if I have a serious of violence or some violation happening to my body, or in any form, it's because I believe somehow that I'm not safe in this world. And so I'm manifesting experiences that affirm that prove that to me. Right? So it's a truth that I'm holding in my energy that makes it a reality, a real experience. You hold the truth first. You hold it as a truth first, meaning a truth is something you hold as, this is a possibility for me. This is something that is true and real, and it's a possibility for my life. And as you begin to hold that as a truth, then it becomes a reality somehow. The reality always, this is the world, this world that we're experiencing, we've been taught is the real world. But it's not. It's the world of reflection. It's the mirror world. What's inside of you is the real world. That's the world that actually creates things. This outside world is a reflection of what's going on in here. You change what's in here, you change what's going on out here. Every time. So when we start to feel more safe in the world, we're going to start to manifest experiences and collective experiences that prove that we are safe. That prove that this world is a safe place to be. That prove that we can bring all of ourselves to this world and be okay. That's what we're being invited more into. More of an embodiment of. We're being embodied to embody more of that truth. Yes. So someone's saying, well, actually, I'll speak to that. I'll actually speak to that in a second. But there's a comment here that is actually the next thing that I was going to speak about. But before I go on that, I'm going to read some more of you. Someone's saying it's time to really start to limit social media, eat nourishing food, get in my kitchen and go for walks in nature. That's really right outside my door. To work on projects to help myself move through this. Yes, it's really to thank you for that. Whatever you're being guided to do that will help you feel more in alignment with yourself, the truth of your being, and help you feel more at ease and more safe. That's where you want to get more of the feeling of safety in your energy field, and you want to get more of a feeling of ease so that you can begin to work on the truth. Because if you're in high terror right now, if you're in high, I mean, you might not be, but if you're in high terror, if you're in high anxiety, if you're in high worry right now, you cannot work on the truth at the same time. That's not the space to do that. You have to soothe yourself first before you work on the truth. Just like that child in a nightmare. If that child is in a terror nightmare, that child is not in the space where they can hear the truth and that they can really start to embody it. You have to soothe the fear first. You got to soothe it. And a part of soothing it is telling yourself the truth, but another part of it is to do the things that will help you relax, to help calm your nervous system. A lot of things that I like to do is I like to take hot baths and burn some candles, light some candles and some incense in my house, take some hot baths, and relax. And that helps me soothe fear. Getting around people I love, getting around my close family and my friends, even if I have to Skype with them, just having that kind of connection helps me soothe. But you want to soothe. Yes, so somebody's saying I love cooking fresh foods. This is exactly how I feel. I haven't stopped doing my normal routine. Yes, and listening to classical music is my calmness. Yes, you want to calm your nervous system, and when you calm your nervous system, that's when you want to start to work on the truth. That's when you want to start to work on reminding yourself what the truth is. So let me move to number 4, because one of you all brought up something that I wanted to share in number 4. So number 4, the fourth thing I wanted to share with you around this is, no matter what is happening, but especially in challenging times, do not forget to enjoy your life. Do not forget to enjoy your life. Joy is the purpose for you being here. If you've watched me a while, if you're new to me, you probably have never heard that before. But if you've watched me for a while, you've heard that 1,000 times. Because I try to really get this in your consciousness that the purpose behind being here in this life experience is to experience joy in the unique ways that joy is experienced for you, right? And so one of the things that happens, whatever we're being called to do, whether we're being called to have a global, quarantine, whether we're being called to be isolated in our homes, no matter what that is, get joy in. Joy literally does two things. One, it serves the purpose for your life. Two, it strengthens your immune system. The more happy you are, the more pleasure you feel, the more alive you feel. Joy strengthens your immune system. So get joy in. Don't forget to have some fun. Don't let that's one thing fear will do when we get too much fear in our system. It disconnects us to joy from joy. And there was something I saw online, and I shared this, and I'll share it again on my page because it was so beautiful, and I literally brought tears to my eyes when I was watching it because it was joy. It was exactly what I'm talking about in physical manifestation in practice. So if you're watching me, if you know about, Italy as a country has done massive quarantines. And so if you're watching me from Italy, I love you. And you'll know this is true because you've experienced this somehow or you've heard about it. But Italy has been, quarantined, and so a lot of them have to stay in their houses, and they're not even allowed to go into kind of public spaces and some things like that. And I saw this video of this neighborhood where they were had been quarantined, and it was at night, and they weren't allowed to kind of be in the streets. And because one of the things we need as humans is connection with each other. That's how we bring joy and connection. And so they were literally opening their windows in their buildings, and they were singing to each other from across the streets. And they were having this big chorus of, they were all singing, and you could feel the joy in their voices. You could feel the vibration of joy in their voices that they were singing. It was so beautiful. And they were singing, they were harmonizing, and they were having fun. And this is how they were connecting to each other. They couldn't physically connect, but they could open their windows and they could sing to each other and connect. And it's literally almost about to bring a tear to my eyes. I'm talking about it because it's so beautiful. And this is what I'm talking about. No matter what has to happen on the outside, stay connected on the inside. No matter what has to happen on the outside, stay connected on the inside. Even if it's just opening your windows and singing to your neighbor. Even if it's getting on Skype and talking to a friend that lives down the street, but you can't see them maybe personally right now, but you can get on and you all can laugh and have tea with each other and enjoy a meal together in your own respective homes on Skype, right? Or on Zoom or however you want to use it. But don't forget the joy. This is the purpose of life. And joy is a healer. Joy is a medicine. The more joy you get in your body, the higher you're raising your vibrational frequency, and you're raising it more to the frequency of love. So joy is a healer. So get more joy in. You may not be able to do it, I love to go, swimming. I can't swim in some of the in the public pools right now because they're closed. So that's not going to be how I'm going to be able to get my joy. But I love to write. I love to sing. I love to cook, and now I can do more cooking. I'm about to do a whole lot of cooking today after I get off of this live. And so there's things we can do that will still, breathe joy through us. Don't forget your joy. Get more joy in. Joy is also, the more joy you have in, the more you begin to soothe your fear also. Joy soothes fear, by the way. So get more joy in. This will also help you get more fear out of your system. And then number 5, and again, if you all have any questions or anything, I'm going to read your questions right after this. If you have any questions, I'll try to read them right after this last one. So the last thought that I want to give you is the 5th thought, is nothing ever comes to us. Nothing. No challenge ever comes without also bringing a blessing with it. No challenge ever comes to us without also bringing a gift for us. So this challenge, this coronavirus, is bringing a gift for humanity. It's bringing a gift for us in some way. And those of us who choose, but you have to choose to open it. You have to choose to open it. And how you choose, again, is to embody more of your truth, and you will get the gift. You embody more of your truth, you will get the gift. Now, you may have heard me say this before, but not all gifts come wrapped in beautiful wrapping. Some gifts come wrapped in sandpaper. Some gifts, the opening of that gift kind of sucks to open it, but it's still a gift under there. And this is that experience. This is the experience that is wrapped in sandpaper. This is not, how I would choose to get my gift, but it's a gift nonetheless. And there's a blessing in this. And you don't usually get to see what the blessing is until you go through the experience, until you do the embodiment work some type of way, and then you will see the gift for you. It's one of the things that you've heard me say many, many, many times. AIDS and kidney failure was one of the biggest blessings I've ever had. Actually, it was probably the biggest blessing of my life. It was the biggest blessing of my life, because through that process with those two diseases, I came back home to myself. I came back home to my truth. I developed a life that I truly love. I released everything that didn't serve me. I got closer to my family. I got closer in my relationships with my friends. I, healed the issues I had around my sexuality and sex. I have better sex now. I make more money. I'm doing work that I really love, and that I'm getting paid well to do it, and I'm serving humanity. All of that would not have been possible had AIDS and kidney failure not showed up in my life. They brought me those gifts. They brought me those. But I had to open those gifts. I had to open the gift of AIDS and kidney failure to get that. And coronavirus is offering a gift. Yes, will some people be affected by it? Absolutely. And I want to say this too, even though this wasn't one of the thoughts, I guess this is number 6. I want to add this to you too. Even if you do contract the virus, and that is something that, you have an experience with the illness, remember, you can heal from anything. Absolutely anything. I'm a witness. I'm a testimony. You can heal from anything. Your body knows how to heal. There is nothing on this planet that your body does not know how to heal from. If your body didn't know how to heal from it, it couldn't exist. It wouldn't be here. You can't be given an experience that your soul doesn't know how to move you to the other side of. That's not possible. So if you get the virus, know that you can heal from it. Tune into your soul's wisdom and ask, what do I need to do to heal myself with this? What do I need to do to return my body to wellness? What do I need? And listen and follow. You can heal from this. And in my last video that I did about the virus, to also understand that the people who have died from this virus, the people who've crossed over to the other side, they didn't fail. A lot of times we will manifest an illness when we are ready to go, when we are ready to leave from this life experience and return back to source. And we need kind of an exit strategy. And so we'll manifest an illness sometimes as our exit strategy. And so a lot of times people who have died from this was their time to go. They were ready to go, or it was their time to go, that they were only supposed to be here for whatever amount of time. And the way that they chose to exit, their exit strategy was through this virus. So a lot of people who transitioned, they did not fail. They just were ready to go. This was their time to go, and this was their way to go. And if you contract the virus and you are not ready to leave this life experience, then you will not. And you can heal this. And you want to, again, soothe the fear that you have around contracting the virus, soothe the fear that you have around it, and then begin to tune into your body's wisdom about what it needs to do to heal. You can heal from anything, no matter what anybody is telling you, no matter what the messages are out there. Your body knows how to heal from anything. So I see some of you all saying that you feel your vibration. Such beautiful. Francois saying, thank you so much. I feel my vibration is slowly changing and my energies are expanding. Thank you. thank you. This is my entire purpose to help you all kind of come back and expand your energy field and come back into the truth so that you can spread well being first in your own body and then well being and wellness in the world. And remember, this is a time of great healing. It starts with you, though. It starts with you. And I'm so glad all of you all are here. I'm so glad that this community is here, and for all of your beautiful questions and for all of your beautiful service. And remember, if you desire any extra help and you want some one-on-one help, please reach out. You can work with me. I'd love to work with you. Check out my new website, jeromebraggs.com, and you can look at how we may be able to work together in a deeper way. Until next time, you guys, I love you. I'm going to be sharing some more things on my Facebook page about some of the things that I do to kind of soothe fear and also amp up my immune system. But until then, I love you. Do what you're being called to do to feel safe. Do what you're being called to do to feel healthy and to feel well. And remind yourself of the truth. I love you. Now go love yourself. Bye.